Hey guys, Dwayne here. Want to touch on a topic that I haven't talked about in a while, and that is getting caught up in what's today compared to what your future is. And the problem with that is early in this process, you're comparing everything to the past, what your future expectations were, and obviously that's going to change no matter what the situation. Especially if you're dealing with a narcissistic ex, things are not going to be the way you planned them. Your future is going to be different. Your financial situation is going to be different. The time you get to spend with your kids is going to be different. Everything that you had previously envisioned is going to change. That's a really tough situation because it's immediate. It's in the moment. It's what you're currently dealing with, and it's not easy to let go of that. Then add in the fact or the reality that the situation is exacerbated because of what your ex is doing or not doing, depending on the situation, and it amplifies everything. If you're struggling and you're looking at the extra drama that your ex is creating, it makes it worse. I big time fell victim to that. Every time I would turn around and my bank account was zero, and I'm looking at how in the world am I going to put gas in the car, or put food on the table, or pay rent, it was really, really frustrating. And I mean, and saying it's really, really frustrating is an understatement. It was scary. It was infuriating. It was just a laundry list of emotions that really broke me down. Then you start looking at that. You're trying to look at your immediate situation, and you're not seeing any exit strategy out of it. You're not seeing a way to escape it or to make it better because you're still looking at things compared to the way they were. I had a conversation with my youngest yesterday. We were coming back from the store, and we were just talking about some of the adversities. Money came up. We were just talking about, what we'd like to do, what we wouldn't, what we wanted to be able to do, what we can't do, and that. But at the end of it, it was like, realistically, we're doing okay. I mean, there are people who are in worse shape than we are, especially now, than what we're currently going through. And see, that's the biggest part of all this. It's that perspective change. It's being able to take a look at things and let go of that past reality, and start focusing on your new reality. A lot easier said than done. I mean, it's not easy. I mean, to be perfectly honest, there's a lot of times I look at it and it's like, okay, how have I gotten to this point? I mean, a lot of things haven't changed. A lot of things are still the same, but I'm doing okay. I'm relatively happy with everything that's going on. I mean, is it what I wanted? No. Am I where I plan to be? If I roll the clock back 10 years ago, where I plan to be at this age right now, am I where I wanted to be? No. Am I happy with where I am? Yes. Things are better. I see a future in my life, which I didn't see a few years ago. There were a lot of times that every time something like money or retirement or whatever would come up, it would set off those range of emotions, those PTSD responses, those emotional flashbacks, and it would be really, really tough. Now, I will say this, that as time has progressed, I've gotten a handle on my bills, so I'm able to survive. My oldest kid last year dropped off. That's helped a little bit. I mean, there are some things that have changed, which are helping things. And, so that helps. But even prior to that, even prior to my son dropping off, I finally had decided, okay, I have to take control of my situation. I have to take a step back, reevaluate my situation, and figure out how I'm going to make it work. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, when I first did that, I was scared because I was really scared if I looked at the numbers, it would show me that there was no recovery from this, that basically I was doomed for catastrophe. And it wasn't pleasant. I mean, when I looked at the numbers, it was bad. I mean, it was like, okay, my monthly buffer was, a couple $100, maybe a little less than a couple $100, which meant if anything else went wrong, any doctor's appointments or any, new prescriptions or whatever, that I couldn't cover it. And that also meant that I couldn't make any headway on my bills. But I finally decided, you know what? Things are going to get better. And in most situations, things are, right? Either your kids are going to drop off of child support, maybe your ex will get married, so alimony might go away, or maybe it's only a period of time and then that goes away, and your money will go up if you're a payee. Conversely, if you're on the other end of it and you're working towards getting independent, getting yourself not dependent upon the ex to hopefully send the money they're supposed to send, same thing. You're going to get to the point that you don't need that. Now, the big crux of all this is adapting to that new life, is being able to sever the past, rebuild or re-baseline your situation and your future so that you can actually say, okay, this is where I'm at now, and this is where I'm heading to. It's really tough. It took me a long time to get to that point. I mean, I can remember when the thing first finished and I'm looking at the numbers, and it wasn't so bad because initially my attorney was like, yeah, she's going to get a job and things will get better and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, so a couple of years, so a couple of years into it when I realized, holy crap, that's not going to happen. She's not going to get a job. Child support's not going to go down. Things aren't going to change. That I was pretty devastated. I was pretty scared too. It's like, oh my God, how am I going to deal with this for the next 10 to 12 years? Well, I figured it out, right? I readjusted what I needed to do. I changed the way I was dealing with bills. I changed the way I was spending money. To be perfectly honest, I got anal retentive on tracking every dime I spent on a budget to see where every penny was going, and it helped. After a while, when I started doing that and I started seeing that I was making progress and I was able to save a little bit of money, not a lot of money, but save a little bit, pay a little bit on bills, keep things stable, it helped. It started making me feel better because I was taking control of my life. I was taking control of the situation. I wasn't thinking about or ruminating about the way things were, the way things I used to be able to do, the way, the situation was. I was like, okay, here's my new situation. Here's what I'm focusing on. These are the steps, the active steps I can take to take control of my life to try to get things under control. It's not easy to do. And a lot of times when you're first looking at that, it's going to really anger you because you're going to be comparing your past life to your current life. And it sucks. There's no way to sugarcoat that. There's no way to make it, this is not so bad. It's a tough transition. You are basically having to force yourself into a new dynamic to survive. The thing is once you start making active choices to do that, things start to get better. You start to feel better about yourself and about your situation. Once you start to make decisions to where whatever your ex is doing or not doing you're able to minimize their impact to your life, your stability, to what you're trying to create for yourself and your kids, it starts to make things better. Did it happen overnight for me? Absolutely not. It took a long time. There was a lot of times that I would get really angry. There were times where I would feel better about something, start feeling like I'm doing better, and then the ex would do something or something would come up to remind me of the situation, like I run out of money or some catastrophe, like I need tires or I need some bill that comes up that I wasn't expecting. And then you get that flash of, dang it, if it wasn't for this. Well, guys, a lot of things happen to people. People lose their jobs. People get injured and can't work anymore. People, make bad investments. They lose everything. Or maybe they didn't do anything wrong. Maybe the financial nest egg that they were creating was squandered and stolen by the manager of the fund that it was in. I mean, that type of stuff happens. It's a little more frustrating when there's a person that you used to care about who is directly responsible or intertwined in that, so you have somebody to really say it's their fault. That makes it harder. It's not easy, but taking control of your life, taking an active step to figure out what you can do to make things better is the first step to taking your life back. It's not easy, it's really tough, and it takes some time, but you can do it, and it actually really helps. So on that, I'm going to wrap this video up. Hopefully you're doing okay. Hopefully this story resonates with you, and I will chat with you on the next video. Take care. Bye.